All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So I saw something regarding what I'm going to call this podcast, but it wasn't exactly this. But a lot of times I just pick up on things, and what I am going to call the podcast most likely is, did you invent yourself into what you wanted? I heard something, I don't know where it was at on this, and it was very interesting talking about how a lot of people, don't realize that, you invent to a certain degree the lifestyle that you lead. And a lot of us don't want to admit that. I think a lot of us want to think that like we were thrown into some family or certain environments and we were kind of programmed, and then the reason we may have not ended up where we wanted because we want to blame everyone else. And I'm not here to tell anybody how hard or how hard it wasn't growing up, or I don't know what environment you grew up in or what country or anything. And if you had a horrible childhood or a horrible life, I feel for you. That's got to be unbelievable. But I'm kind of talking here about the average Joe, I guess you could say, in North America for the most part. Or at least the people, I'm not going to say people, I don't know a ton of people. Of course, I grew up in Chicago. We all know there's bad neighborhoods in every major city throughout North America in general, including Canada, and I've spent a lot of time there. So it's not perfect anywhere, I think, to a certain degree. I think a lot of us think, certain towns, maybe, of course, if they're extremely wealthy, it's beautiful. But I do think for the most part, a lot of people they're not wealthy, or they don't grow up in incredible environments or mansions or have very wealthy parents. I think for the most part, a lot of people grow up in middle class or lower middle class environments. And, we kind of have to acknowledge that if we want to have a better life, we have to invent it. We have to become creative. We have to really, design the life that you want to lead. A lot of people are always, and I talk about this on my podcast, they will tell me a ton of different things that they don't want in their life. But very few tell me exactly what they want in their life, or how they're going to achieve what they want in their life, or how they're going to design their life, like how they're going to do what they want to do. I always talk about that, especially in my Mastering Self-Confidence program, or just me in general when I'm trying to help men or women consult, is having the confidence to truly, do what you want to do, be who you want to be, and do it with who you want to do it with. I mean, I talk about that a lot on my podcast, and the reason being is, if you're not living the life you want to lead, what the hell's the sense of leading it? But I do think a lot of people want to live a life of misery, or a victim, or just somebody who feels that their identity is all about their past and how they were betrayed, or lied to, or manipulated, or ripped off, and how things, went horribly wrong for them. And I get it. I think, though, you have to understand, I talk about this a lot. Most people don't go unscathed. I'm going to tell you right now, even if they have money, a lot of people with money have a lot of problems, I could assure you, with relationships, with their husbands, their wives, their kids, their family members. With wealth comes a lot of problems. I'm not messing around here. And I know you're saying, oh, you're better off being rich than poor. Of course, I'm not saying that. But don't think they don't lose loved ones. Don't think they don't get cheated on. Don't think they don't get, left. Don't think that they don't, again, have problems with many different things, maybe in their careers, all these different types of things. So I think if we all just stop looking at everybody else too and comparing ourselves, and just really start creating the life that you desire. And I'm kind of there myself. I'm kind of confused a lot of times because I've really done almost everything I wanted to do to a certain degree. And people will be like, well, no, Rich, you got to take it to a higher level. Or you got to go, if you've traveled all the places you want to go to, now it's time to discover places you haven't been to, or that you don't even know that you want to go to, and all these things, even career-wise, like, okay, even though you made a couple films, no, you got to take it to another level. Or even though you wrote this and you did this and do that, I really don't have to. I don't have to take it to any level that I don't want to take it to. So I do think, I will wrap it up with this, I'm trying to keep them shorter, is sometimes you kind of may have created the life that you want to create. All right, and you've done kind of what you wanted to do for the most part, and you find yourself maybe bored. And I see this with a lot of husbands and wives or families. A lot of people, when they're born and programmed, I'm going to have a family, I'm going to have, all these things, I'm going to get a career, be an entrepreneur, and do all these things, and you kind of did it. And you're still kind of doing it, but then you kind of stall out. You don't know what to do next. What is the next phase? Or do you just want to keep riding out this phase, which is fine. But a lot of people I do believe get bored and fall into a rut. So that is something you're going to have to figure out, because I do think people become very kind of set in their ways where they're not happy and they're not miserable, but they are bored. So if you are falling in this situation, again, start creating the life you want to lead and just keep thinking it in that form, I guess you could say. So anyways, that was just a podcast I want to do. If you have any questions or comments, you can hit me up at rich@richcelenza.com. My website's richcelenza.com, and my program is masteringselfconfidence.com, and I will officially wrap it up with this. Don't let people think you don't deserve or you can't do what the hell you want to do. Even if you don't have a lot of money, I'm telling you, if you become creative, and I've been helping some men live an incredible life affordably. I think so many people, men and women, get caught up thinking they have to have all this money to have all these experiences. I've even done podcasts on this. Don't let, what you have financially destroy your experiences. You can do a lot of things in your life, and you can create a lot of things. You just have to become creative. And believe it or not, by being creative a lot of times is going to be much more stimulating than just maybe taking money and just going somewhere. Because what happens is you kind of figure out a lot of different things on how to do certain things, I guess you could say, and do it with maybe other people that you've never expected before, or travel in a way you've maybe never traveled before, and just experiment. I talk about it all the time. So, all right, take care, and I wish you all nothing but the best.